Layers in a CAD package are typically used to help classify objects that are being drawn so that they may be either switched off or selected at some future date. In RealCAD, layers are available from layer 0 right the way through to layer 1023. Layers can actually be named, and in this case we'll name layer 0 as established plants. And by selecting Save Name, we lock that name against layer 0. Selecting OK now shows the word Established Plants in the status bar at the top and tells us that all items we draw from this point will be drawn in the layer called Established Plants. If we were to create a new layer, in layer 1, we might call this layer Existing Plants or New Plants. Save the name, select OK, and again items drawn now will be drawn on a separate layer. The significance of this is seen more closely when we then come to select the objects or display them. By choosing Display Masks tool and selecting the Layer Display Mask, we can, for instance, switch off all established plants. They are no longer apparent on the screen, whilst actually still being part of the model. We can also switch off new plants and switch on established plants. We can also switch everything on, and we can select objects by which layer they are on by choosing the Selection Mask and again the Layer Selection Mask. And for instance, we might suggest that we switch all layers off but select only new plants. If we were to then draw a box around the outside of all objects, only items drawn in the New Plants area would be available for selection. Perhaps a more convenient way to access layers is through the Display Layer window. Here we have a new dialog box which displays named layers and allows us to create brand new layers by selecting a new layer from this box. We'll call this new layer Site Boundary. Select OK and a new layer is generated. The green dot indicates which item or which layer is the active layer. If I was to select New Plants, you will notice New Plants in the top section of our screen as being the active layer. Established, the word Established Plants is here. The blue item tells us which objects are selectable or which layers are selectable, and the red tells us which items are actually displayable. For instance, we could switch New Plants off by deselecting New Plants and repainting the screen. The active layer cannot be switched off, but it can be made unselectable. Entities that are selected can be placed on new layers or changed from their existing layer to a different layer. We'll place all these highlighted objects onto the Site Boundary layer. You can determine what layer an entity is placed upon by double-clicking on that entity. The verification box will indicate the layer number or name.